Hello everybody and welcome to round 5 of the SimRacingOnline 2025 Dallara IndyCar Championship. This is Series 1 of the SimRacingOnline World Series, which is going to host 4 series over the year to determine a driver's champion at the end. Coming up next, just to give you a heads up, it's going to be a multi-class GT3 and LMP cars, or a prototype of some type. Anyway, that'll be coming up shortly in the next month. Today, we are in for a treat. This is round 5. We have a pretty close event or standings in the scoring. Let's take a look at that. If I can find the web scores, here they are. So if you can see by this that Mr. Westy is in first place with that 134 points. Just a 9-point lead over Philip Pichler in Team Solitude, with Jean Van Der Geest in third, just behind. Matej Escobar is in fourth place, but I do not believe he is going to be in today's race. He's under the weather and not going to race today. But there is your top 10 in the championship. And with that said, we do have a little bit of predictions for you. If you can see, this is just the situation here. Westy can win today if, there you go, if Pichler finishes 16th or lower, and of course Westy wins, or if Westy comes in second and Pichler finishes 20th or lower. And that will be the race prediction for the championship with 2 to go still. So after today, we will see what happens. Just a quick note to our sponsor. I want to make sure that you guys all understand who is making this possible, and that is Liberty Footwear. Built in America, so you can enjoy stylish, comfort, performance, and our safety, hiking, everyday wear, custom fit boots, handcrafted in Michigan, USA. Personal friends of the MRT racing team. So if you go visit these guys, you can get a great deal online on a really, really nice pair of boots. And make sure to tell them that Randy sent you. So there is that action. Our sponsor, thank you very much. And of course, thanks to all the patrons, everybody that helps us out here at SimRacingOnline with your donations. It really comes in handy. That also makes this stuff possible. Driving today, you get a good look at some of the drivers in today's race as I go over a little bit of the track info. You can see today we are in Portland, Oregon. What a beautiful place. This is about a 3-hour drive for me, just down the coast. I just head south for 3 hours, and here I am. This place has got some really cool trivia, and I'm going to touch on that a little bit later and see if you can guess a couple of the questions I'm going to have here. But in the meantime, this place originally resolved, let's see if I can find this. It's built on a former location in Vanport, Oregon. It was destroyed on Memorial Day May 30th, 1948, when a railroad berm broke and water from the Columbia River flooded the city. And after the flood, the streets were and the concrete foundations were all destroyed. It all that was remained was just these old foundations, and very dangerous. So the first races took place on these old city streets in 1961 during what they called the Portland Rose Festival. And since then, the Rose Cup had become an annual event. West Dahlia Park, which is what this place used to be called before it was Portland International Raceway. It was quite dangerous, though, because racers leaving the track unexpectedly could collide with leftover concrete foundations or fall into ponds. It was just crazy. So under the threat of losing the Rose Cup, suspending the sanctioning races bodies, they would no longer sanction races due to the deteriorating roads and dangerous obstacles. The track was finally paved in the 70s. And then in 1975, they raced the Trans Ams here, and that was the beginning of that action. And here we are today. There's some other really cool, like I said, some trivia on this stuff, and we're going to see if anybody can guess what it was. I'm going to tell you that this track is famous for having two of the most closest finishing races in IndyCar history still today. Two of the closest finishing races were at this track right here. So let's see what else I got here for you. I have the series info. Of course, we know the cars. The Indycar Dallara, you can have the Chevy engine or the Honda engine, the V6 with the X-Track transmission, 10-11 gearbox, 6 forward gears, 1 reverse gear, and a Megaline assisted gear shift paddle shift. So 2.2 liter, 134 cubic inches of V8 power, twin turbocharged. And the output 550 to 700 horsepower, depending on the turbo use, of course. Now, we are down pretty close to sea level here at Portland today, so this might be an opportunity to open these babies up. So with that said, we have about a couple minutes left here to quali. So let's just get the boxes up here, and let's see what kind of times these guys have been putting up here in practice. Then, of course, I'm going to switch to one of the driver's views. There we go. Costas there. For your information pleasure, the times will be rotating as long as well as the gap to the next. We have gap to leader, gap to next, positions gained and lost, and what kind of tire they are on. And that's going to cycle for you on the right-hand side there of the list, so you can kind of see what's going on with your favorite drivers. It's about every 10 seconds, so as that changes, you'll be able to see the gap. Some really good views here. This turn 1 hairpin is the tightest place on the track. Really sketchy right here. Things are going to be happening, and a lot of races are won and lost in that very first turn 1 chicane right there. Then coming to this section, another little pretty complex. It's a series of right-handers, right-hander after right-hander after right-hander, then a quick lefty here that sweeps around for yet another right-hander that takes you down onto the back straight. Right here, you hit this corner right, just like Costas did there, so you can open that baby up and down to the chicane that was added later on. There's two versions of this track. One of them has this next chicane here out, so you can go straight through, and it makes the track a little bit shorter, but it's really dangerous too. So there you have a quick lap around with Costas as he's heading into the pit. So interesting stuff here as we are now getting ready for quali. So with that said, let's get ready for the grid. Quali is going to be a 15-minute session. It's going to be private, so all these guys can have their way on the track with no traffic. When the clock ticks over, we'll see what's up. Here we go, 15:09. Here we go. Costas is heading out. The number 2 car of Nick Westy is also heading out. So a little bit tricky for me to keep track here as these guys come out, because they're only one at a time, so I have to look over and find out who's out by looking at my other screen here. So Westy, who is currently our points leader, like I said, it's going to have to be a tough break for Costas, I think, for Westy to be able to pull it off today. So I think we're going to race into the last series, which will be in 2 weeks at Long Beach for the finale. Don't miss that. You want to join us for that. It's going to be something. I want to also give a big thanks to my production manager, Neil Wood. He's been sending us all those cool overlays that you see are all done by him. The predictions, the scoring, the slideshows. He's hooking us up in the back end here with all his awesome skills in HTML and the JSON stuff, which is way over my head. So thank Mr. Woody for that. Let's see how Westy heads into this blistering tight turn 1 chicane. I personally think the race is probably going to be won and lost by who can handle that turn the best, as well as who can handle this section coming up right here. This series of rights, followed up with the lefty and then the right, just to get yourself in position right here to get down that back straight is really crucial, right? This turn right here. If you hit it just right, it opens you up for that back straight. You can get to max speed before you're hot on the brakes for the back end chicane. I mean, he has purple and purple, as you can see, so it looks like he could be up on top very soon here as he's going to cross the line. And he does, as predicted. Look at that, a 1 minute flat .383. So that is the time to beat. Let's see where Costas is. He's purple in sector 1, green in sector 2. Let's see what he does. Oh, while we're speaking, Mr. Taylor, who is Westy's teammate, jumps above him, and then Lars Hegman jumps on top of them with a 1:0.054. So Hegman, and I believe there's two. The brothers are here today, so, or it's a father-son or a brother team. I can't remember. We'll get more details on that. All these guys are over on TeamSpeak, so perhaps some of them might jump over into the broadcast booth and give us some info. But Hegman 1 and Hegman 2. This is going to be tough because I don't have any initials. Maybe I can set that up so we can tell the difference. But of course, at the bottom, we can see that this one is obviously Lars in the yellow. So and Bjorn, let's check Bjorn. He's in the yellow and green. And he's also purple and purple. So look at this. We got Hegman, Taylor, Westy at the top 3 so far. And he is on a purple sector 1 and a green sector 2. So looking pretty good, actually. Got Freddie Hell crossing the line right now, or out on the backstretch. We're going to check in with him in a minute. So the Hegman brothers have got up on the third and first steps of the podium so far. And Antron Tobin, who's parked, is also in there. So they're bumping these guys out. So we got some new blood on the sitting on pole so far as he's broken that 1 minute barrier, that Hegman. And that is Lars. It's at 59.9, so just under. And Westy's on an outlap, so let's see what else we got. Who was that that just crossed? Caitlin Penny just crossed. You can see. I'm going to turn these off so it's just the gap to the leader for quali. So look at that, 0.161 is the Hegman brothers separated. Then Robin Taylor, 0.174 back. These are from the leader, so not to each other. Those gaps are to what is sitting on pole currently. We got coming on the number 10 car, Freddie Hell. Here he comes across the line. Let's see what Freddie can do. He's green and yellow. Does he move himself up a little bit? He does not. Tree as well is in the pits. Randy Marek is on an out lap. Ale Bateson will pause best. Let's find in sixth Philip Fischler, who I hope I'm getting your name right this time, Philip. He gave me an awesome lesson on the German CH, which is very, very distinctive. So, Herr Fischler, I hope I've got it right now for you, Philip. Very good. Thank you for that tip as he's coming out. So, meanwhile, third place, Taylor coming across the line. Let's see what he can do. He's got a hot lap going. Let's get a look at this from our wing cam. As you can see, Westy has jumped up back up on top with a 59.954 versus a 59.968. So this is extremely close. As there's Hergman again, he's starting his out lap. So Lars, Costas, Bjorn, all chasing Westy now. See who's going to be coming across this. Taylor, he'll be coming across. He's in that nasty chicane at the end into the last turn. "12 turns at this place, and let's see what Taylor," and he does. He jumps right back up on top. Wow, with green and purple in sector 2, so we really killed that sector 2 section. Nice lap by Taylor. Let's see who's coming across now is Penny. If I can get her time. And she doesn't improve. Who is next? The 12th place car of Randy Marek is going to hit the line. And he is now on a hot lap. "15th place. Summers crosses the line and stays in 15th. I'm just giving you updates as I see them on the other page as we're watching these certain drivers. And Bjorn has jumped back up on top. These guys are ping-ponging back and forth with these lap times. That's a 59.7. So, wow. But as you can see, he's yellow in sector 1. Let's see what Taylor's coming out. Maybe some fresh rubber as we are just at the 7-minute mark. So Taylor's stopping for some rubber. Westy's on an out lap. Brother Lars is coming out. So these guys are getting ready for their second runs here. Let's check on Costas, also on an out lap. And the 7th place car of Caitlin Penny is on a hot. Let's see if he's crossing the line here to start yet another lap. Does in 7th position currently. As Bjorn coming across now. There was that lap. As you can see, he was a little off on that one, but probably heating up those tires as he just came out. Or it looks like, I can't tell. Is he slowed down? It looks like he's giving it up on this lap. Maybe not. This will be a time lap. But the 3rd place, Nick Westy. In 3rd. Trying to improve. Who else we got coming? There is Philip Fischler. Bumps ahead of Penny and puts himself in 7th. Or is that's Anton? Anton Tobin has jumped into 7th with a what is his last time was a 1:00.378. So as these guys are trading places here, 4th place Lars does not improve, but Atron is purple in sector 1. So let's see what happens here as he makes his way down that back straight. Into that last chicane. A little bit off on the sector 2, but let's see if he can bump himself up anyway. He's currently in 7th. Let's see what he's got. And he does. He moves himself up into 5th, so he goes up a couple positions with a 1:00.008. Woo! It looks like Bjorn has now put himself on top. So the brothers, I guess it's been Bjorn the whole time, as Lars is still in 4th. And here is Lars now. Let's see if he can get ahead of his. Oh, he's on outlap purple. And he does. It's a Hagman. Hagman, he gets right behind his brother. Wow. 58.826. So it's a 826 to 0.790. So that is the difference between the brothers, sons, uncles, cousins, whatever they are. Let's see if Taylor has anything for him. Taylor remains in third, but starting a hot lap now. Westy, series leader, in for pits. Let's see where it's Tobin. Tobin is back in. All right, let's check out some of the other guys. Here comes Vandergeest. Currently jumps himself from 9th to 8th just on that lap right there. Nicely done. Oh, that was his best lap of the race so far, of the Pratt quali, I mean, with a 1:00.417. So nicely done by Jan Vandergeest, as we are just at under 4 minutes remaining here. Where are some of these other guys? We got, I know Ed Jones is not qualifying. Ben Summers is out. Gilles is on a timed lap. Gilles Constant currently in 15th in that beautiful SRO livery, one of our custom painters. And there's Bateson as well in the pits. So Bjorn, purple in sector 1, yellow in sector 2 as he's coming up to that sector 3 chicane. He's got a chance to increase his lead, but perhaps that's just 0.021 off. And he does. He improves by another 10th. Now it's 59.607. So 0.2 leaves his brother in the dust behind. Let's see where Taylor is. Taylor's coming out. This is the last 3 minutes of quali. So we have Westy now is bumped into 4th. And he is coming through the final section now. So let's see what Nick can do. Oh, he's on an outlap. Never mind. My bad. So this will be, well, with 2:29 left, there is enough time for 2 laps. So we'll keep an eye on that. But meanwhile, Lars, here comes Lars to show you if he can best his brother. He's on an outlap too. So Lars Hagman out with fresh rubber on probably his last stint for qualifying. And here comes Bjorn. Purple and yellow, purple and yellow. Is he going to put another faster lap up to 59.607? And he does not improve. You can see he's just off in sectors 2 and 3. So nothing to gain there. It's third place Taylor going through the first sector there. Here comes Freddie Hill in 9th to see if he can better his time. And he does not improve. Smythe from 11th. Will he improve? Looks like not. All right. So 4th place, Westy stays in 4th. But he's on a ripper now, so this will be probably their last laps. However, if they get around in time, they can squeak one more out of it. And look at Hagman. Lars has jumped above his brother by another 10th with a 59.573. So the two Hagmans are battling back and forth. It's 0.034 is the difference between pole and second position. Wow, what a treat we're in for with this high speed. And Lars is also purple in sector 1 on what will be the last lap of his qualification, I believe, unless he can get across. I doubt it. So let's check out from 5th. We got Nick Westy. This will be Westy's yellow and yellow. He will be able to take another lap if he's got enough time left, as the clock has 30 seconds on it. So this will be it for Westy's last chance to get himself back on the podium. And where is Taylor? But meanwhile, Lars is calling it. 59.573 is the fastest time so far. And there is 10 seconds left. Let's see if Costas has anything for these guys. He started in 4th place, Taylor. Taylor's calling it. So just the remaining chance here is for anything on pole. There's 4 cars remaining out on track. As we got Hagman, and Contadores, and then Taylor, Wesley, and Vandergeest. So he is yellow, and yellow is Costa. So I do not think he's going to have anything. But in the meantime, let's see if 6th place John Vandergeest can better his time, and he does not. As you can see, he's yellow and yellow. And quali is over. That's it. The final cars are coming into the pits, and we are going to set the standings, or the the race order. Where am I? Starting order. All right, starting order is set, and we are ready to go. All right, that was a pretty intense qualification session. Hope everybody enjoyed that as much as I did. That was really good. We'll get a couple looks around the track here as we're getting ready for the 5-minute warm-up. So, as I said before, there is some trivia here, and I'm going to go ahead and give you some of that now. So, way back in history, in 1984, Portland actually home in '84. They started hosting the IndyCar World Series, and the first winner, taking his first win in the Cosworth back in March, was Al Unser Jr. But Portland is best remembered for being the site of the 2 closest finishes on a road course in IndyCar racing history. In '86, Michael Andretti lost fuel pressure on the final turn of the final lap, which allowed his father Mario to catch up and beat him to the finish line by 0.070 seconds. So father beat son because of a fuel pump, and that was one of the closest finishes in IndyCar history. But there was another one. That's not the only one. In 1997, a 3-wide finish featuring Mark Blundell beat second place Gilles de Ferran by 0.027 seconds and beat third place Raoul Bossial by 0.055 seconds for a road course race. It was the all-time closest finish in kart series history, as well as the closest 3-car finish in series history. So that's going all the way back from today all the way back to 97. So some pretty cool info there. Just wanted to pass that along, that about Portland has some really cool stuff going on. All right. Let's check it out. We got some guys on track, so let's not mess around here. Let's go watch a little bit of driving here. As the clock ticks down, 3 minutes or so, 3.5 minutes left in the warm-up session. So these guys will be out in their probably race gear. I would say they got fuel, race fuel. And it looks like these guys are both on the soft tires. So we'll go to the gap to next. And the positions gain lost. Set that up for the tower. It will be a rolling start. So it's going to be, let me get in the cockpit here. It's going to be a manual formation lap, what we like to do here at SimRacingOnline. Just alleviates any bugs that the system itself might have by allowing us to control our own race. So usually they'll do the manual formation lap will be all the way around at, say, 80, 90 kilometers, and then the race begins at the out of that last turn after the chicane there. So we'll do that one lap, and then it's on. As the 2 Hagmans are the only ones out on track right now. But we do have, it looks like Westy and Philip Pichler are either coming out of the pits. Yeah, they're going to come out for the last minute or 2 of this. We got 2 minutes remaining in the warm-up. So a couple other takers here. You can see Westy also on the softs. And Pichler just behind him, also on the softs. We got Gilles Ooh, Gilles is on the hards. You can see there, no red stripe there on that beautiful chrome liveried machine of his. Heavens to Betsy. That's me, your commentator. Rob, the home of virtual motorsport. You guys were with us, I guess it was about a month ago now. We have the Porsche 935 K3 series. Really, really fun series. And we raced here. It was one of the first or second rounds. So some of us are a little bit familiar with the track. And that was also broadcast by Woody on his, I believe he's on a Twitch feed. Woody TV. You got to look that up. Pretty good stuff. All right, as we are counting down the last 39 seconds or so of warm-up, getting ready for the start of round 5. It'll be 90 minutes of racing. So these guys are going to have to at least make one, maybe two stops. You know, with this shorter track with a minute lap, it might be a one-stopper depending on the tire degradation, but we will see. Let's just hope we can get off to a clean start. Getting ready here. Session is over. We're about to hear the most famous words in sim racing. There you have it. The most, precious words. Takes me way back to R Factor 1, the original. Okay, while we wait for these guys to load up on the grid, let's get a look at that starting order. So here we have it. Starting in your pole position is Lars Hagman, who beat out Bjorn just by those hundredths of seconds. Then Costas Cantatoris in third. Robin Taylor in fourth. Fifth place will be Nick Westy, championship leader so far, and then Jean Van der Gies in sixth, followed by Antoine Tobin in seventh, or Tobin, sorry, and Philip Pichler. It's a manual formation lap. Looks like some guys got a little excited there. No crashing. Anyway, then Penny Smythe and Hightree followed up after Freddie Hill in ninth. And then 13th will be Randy Marek from MRG, Ollie Bedson, and 15th is Gilles De Silva, Ben Summers in 16th. 17th is Stephen Winham, and 18th is Randy Marek, but they are not showing on the starting grid. So I think they might have had a disconnect and came back later, but it's showing them on the list. So let's make sure they're in this. There they are in the pit. So what is up with Marek in the pits? Well, we have an issue already. So let's see. Where is Randy? Wow. Okay. Let's hope that is handled. All right. Let's get the timer up. Let's get the tower up. As we are getting ready to race. And here we go. We are live, and here race is on as the Hagmans take off in fine order there. We got coming up the back. That is Taylor looking to the outside. There comes Westy up on the inside to try and gain a spot. Westy up into fourth. Taylor into fifth. Costas in third. There is Costas. Let's make sure the rest of these guys get through. There's Freddie, seventh place. There's Pichler right behind him. Caitlin Penny bringing up the tail end of that. The next group back is Hightree. So it looks like everybody's gotten through. I don't see any yellow. 17th is Wyndham, and it looks like Marek is going to sit this one out. Maybe he will become our steward, or maybe he can join me in the broadcast booth. So your leader coming up on the first chicane under heated exchange is Lars Hagman, leading lap 1, with Bjorn just behind him. But Westy and Costas battling for that next spot. As Westy gets through, you can see he's all over his teammate Taylor's excuse me, tail. So we've got teammates 1 and 2 and teammates 3 and 4. So good to go. Meanwhile, back here in the mid-pack, Freddie Hill, Caitlin Penny, Anton giving a little fighting back here. There is Pichler and Smythe bringing up the tail end of that action. Making their way out of Sector 2 into Sector 3. Nicely done. Meanwhile, at the tail end, we got Ed Jones having a nice little battle here with Summers and Gil De Silva in front of this pack. This is 14th, 15th, and 16th. A nice tight battle going on back here. These guys make their way through the chicane. To the start-finish straight. And it looks like Gilles got the worst of that end in there, with Summers taking on the spot and Jones just behind him. Meanwhile, in the mid-pack here, Freddie Hall has bumped himself up to 8th with Caitlin Penny close in tow. So as these guys make their way around, it's this really, really semi-technical section right here. Just right after right after right with the lefty heading down the back straight. And Caitlin takes advantage and gets through. Caitlin on a brilliant pass. Just look at the speed that she had coming out of that straight. She just flew right by Hell. Very nicely done. Looks like Wyndham had a little bit of issues and he's stuck in the back, but let's get up to the front in here. We got at the pointy end, we got a little bit of action going on. Westy has gotten around Taylor. There is Westy currently in 4th. Costas in 3rd still. So the top 4 got a little bit of a gap back to 5th place. And Bjorn is feeling it now from Costas. Costas looking for a way right on his bumpers, that same section. That is a pretty, appears to be one of the better passing zones if we watched Caitlin Penny blast by as they come around for yet another lap. Spread it out a little bit there into that chicane. It's so tough. Lars leading the way, but Westy's trying to get around Costas as teammate Taylor is falling behind. Costas a little hard on the brakes, smokes a tire there. These guys are on the softs. Excuse me. What else we got going on? And this mid-pack battle, Caitlin and Antron. So, Antron just ahead of Caitlin there for 6th and 7th and 8th, or 7th and 8th. Vandergeest comfortably in 6th. It's got a nice little gap there. And you can see she's a little bit behind Taylor. So Taylor seems to have been falling off here as it was up closer to the podium as they are spreading out. But this 6th and 7th battle is getting pretty good right here with Penny looking for another shot around, going to go to the inside. You see that room, keeping it off, no contact. They got through clean. So nicely done there. As Antron keeps just enough ahead. And meanwhile, Westy pressuring. Costas still. So let's see what happens down the straight, see if Westy can do anything. I'm pretty sure Westy has a low wing setting because that's how he rolls. It looks like Costas as well is rolling with a low wing because that was pretty tough. No gain, nowhere to go there. Vandergeest now has an issue. Vandergeest is off. Vandergeest finds himself in the grass. Tough break for Vandergeest as he's dropping down into 10th now, going into 11th. And that's Mark Hightree also getting around Vandergeest. So Hightree takes over 11th. Vandergeest down to the 12th. So that was a tough break. But meanwhile, Pichler on Freddie Hill's tail here to get into it. And then Caitlin just ahead. Caitlin, the next group up there, chasing him, chasing down, Antoine. So this is the tight pack of the race so far. Oh, we got the number 9 car. Antoine has an off. Just as we were speaking, he's found his way off. Let's see if that's going to open the door for Hightree. And no, Hightree and Vandergeest are a little bit farther behind. Pichler would have been next, I believe. So yes, Antoine finds himself now currently in 12th. So they all did get around. Everybody got around. And now Westy back up, looking at that last step on the podium, putting the chase on. That crazy sector 2, right where sector 1 and sector 2 interchange, is where that it goes right, left, and it's just very technical in there. Get your rhythm down to open it up for this back straight. And it looks like the cars are pretty much spread out now. See from the track map that they got a little bit of gap between them. There's still our leader, Lars. Fastest lap of the race is Bjorn, though, with a 1:00.921. So haven't broken into the 59s yet, have not broke that 1 minute barrier, but I have a feeling that is coming soon as the fuel loads get lighter. But also the tire wear is coming into play, so we don't know what's going to happen. 3rd place, Costa. 4th place, Westy. Meanwhile, Pichler and Freddie Hill back here battling for 7th. But I think Westy's coming out of this section here. We might be on a run. You might have. See if I can find that rear cam to hit into that chicane. This is Costas. I'm looking for there's what I want. Westy. All right, down the start finish straight. Oh, who would we have off? We got another off. It's Pichler. Pichler has found the grass. Currently in 8th, down to 9th, as he's going to get passed by the 10th place car of Hightree. Now moves into 9th. Excuse me. So Pichler having issues. And the 17th place car of Stephen Whittam is in a bad spot there, waiting for traffic to get through. Okay, so meanwhile, back up at the pointy end, Westy. Holy smokes. So far, Marek is the only DNF. And I believe he is also being the track marshal. Those guys are all on TeamSpeak. And I kind of feel bad that he's not in this thing. What the heck happened? Anyway, Pichler now trying to get back on Hightree. But Westy's also trying to get Costa. So let's get up to the podium here. As you can see, Westy has that transparent dome, whatever that thing's called. it escapes me at the moment, but you've got my feeling. Where you can see if we go to Bjorn just in front of him, he's got the solid one. So probably unaware that he can change it, or just didn't change it, because I don't think these guys were in the last round. Westy looking for a spot. Oh, Westy gets a piece of Cautious and sends him around. He's get back into it. Let's check the steering. I don't see any damage. He's still got his wing. So you can see that Westy was a little bit faster there. It looks like his steering is okay. I don't see anything bent, but that's going to open the door for his teammate Taylor to close in on him. So let's check back this Pichler and Hightree. Phillip looking for a way around Hightree. Hightree's moving to the outside. Need to be out there to get into the chicane. So Pichler decides wisely just to save it for another opportunity, which could be right here. As we've seen, Hightree in these last, every race has been very competitive and had some bad luck. And Antoine and Costas now way back after that. Costas in the pits. So after that bump by Westy, Costas is down in the pits. So I don't know if he got rear damage or if he decided to just, hell it, I'm going to load up and go to the end. We don't know. We won't know until we know. Also, Bjorn has been passed by Westy. So Westy has taken over second place. So maybe there was an incident that we missed with Costas and Bjorn. But Lars still out in front. And Bjorn with that fastest lap still with a 1:00.921. But Westy in second place now as they come out again for yet another round. So Bjorn, we know, is quick. He's going to be putting the pressure on Nick Westy. As you can see, Taylor behind. There is Bjorn. Good looking guy. The right-hander. So there must have been some kind of a mix-up or a scuff-up or whatever, because now you can see Lars is way out front. Here is Lars. So I believe something probably happened with the second, third that we missed. And it guts me every time we miss that action. But he is way out in front of these guys now. Westy and the other Hegman are battling for second, but they are quite the gap behind now. And they're coming up on lap traffic as Gilles will be the next for Westy to get through. As well as Hegman and Taylor and Penny. They will all be closing in on the lap traffic back markers. Wenham's still in the pits. He has not dropped out of this race yet, but he's still in the pits as Westy gets around Gilles. And so does Hegman. Reluctantly. There's better places to pass. Some of these guys have got to, sometimes it's better to wait for the straight and just get around. But here comes Taylor. Taylor also getting around Gilles. And then Penny, who finds herself in 5th place now, looking good, and Hightree in 9th. So these guys have been moving up. And then Costas, nothing but issues for Costas. It's now he is back battling. And who else is that? Who has slowed down there? Wow. So what a chain of event is Hagman's now coming up on these lap cars. You see just ahead of him are the back markers. He's getting ready to put a lap. He's going to put Vandergeest is about to go a lap down if he can't do some of that racing stuff. Try and stay on that lead lap. So Vandergeest also having his issues as Lars gets around. There is John. Let's check John out. Got any damage? He's pitting. So Vandergeest in the pit. All right. Got Caitlin in 5th, pretty much on a stay run. We got this pretty good battle here for 3rd. Is Bjorn sticking with Westy. And we also have the 8th and 9th car of Hytria and Fischler still fighting just behind these guys. So here is that battle. And it looks like it was at Gilles. Gilles had a little bit of a spin as Hytria gives way to Fischler. Wow, we are only 15 minutes into this race and it's been crazy. Wow, can't believe we got an hour and 15 minutes to go. We got the one DNF so far, and that's Randy who was a no start. That was basically a no start. So curious to find out what happened there. Let's see. Trying to set the initials, but I've only had car data, drivers a team, and yeah, it's not letting me change it. So the battle continues. We've got another car pitting. It looks like the 16th place of Gilles is coming in. Gilles bringing it in. But meanwhile, Ben Summers getting around. It's the 2nd place car of Nick Westy. These guys are in traffic now, in the lap traffic. You see Westy and Bjorn right there trying to get through. They're getting around Summers. So I made that out of there clean. That was a clean getaway. As Westy's taking the shortcut, Westy's in the wall. Westy's wing is off. Oh no, Nick Westy. The only good thing about that is that it happened next to the pits. Be careful coming back on, Nick. You don't want to wreck anybody. Oh man, what a tough break for Westy. He's going right into the pits for repair. So that's going to open the door up for Bjorn and Lars to be 1 and 2. So the Hegmans are leading and Taylor moves into 3rd. As Taylor just gets around Summers. Caitlin Penny in 4th. Just behind Summers. So they're coming up next. And I see pieces and parts. You can see Westy's wing got a little help back there. Or that's somebody else's wing. Yes, it looks like that is Penny's wing. So Caitlin, the wingless Avenger, coming down the back straight. If she can keep that thing under control when she hits this high-speed chicane and get that thing into the pits. Wow. Or you can do it, Caitlin. She's got to be pulling in. There she goes. All right. So that's going to open the door. We got more changes at the top. But this battle with Antron, Batsman, and Westy at the back. As Westy's back out with a new wing. Now he's got a battle back from 13th. And he's done this before. We watched him do this as he just gets right through these two with no problem at all. Jumps into 11th. So he's just a tick away from the top 10, which is his old nemesis, Costas, who he was already battling with. Jones will be next up here. As you can see, Jones has made it up to 9th place, and Costas is on Jones. Pretty good stuff there. Nice wall cam there. All right, as the leader is going through traffic. Coming up on Antoine is Lars Hagman. He's got to get through these guys. That's the 11th and 12th are next on the list. We got some action back here with 17th. In the 6th place car of Pichler is getting around that 17th place car. So Pichler makes it through safe. Currently in 6th. As we are hour and 10 remaining still. Man. Some crazy business here. There is your leader, Lars. I think he is now going through Wynnum. And you can see Westy just ahead after that incident. So first place is coming up. It's gotten through 13th. 12th is next. I'm sorry, that is Antoine that is next on for the leader. But meanwhile, Gilles back here. 14th, 15th, and 16th are on a tight little bunch right there. This is Vandergeest. I guess that wasn't 15th in that mix. It was 4th that was between the 16th and 14th sandwich. So where is Vandergeest? Currently in 15th. Coming across the start finish. Now Westy is on Mr. Jones. Ed Jones as they head down the start finish straight. And Westy's going to jump up into the top 10 now. So working his way back, trying to keep Lars. You can see back in the foreground there. That is the leaders just behind this group. So Lars right there. And you can see there is Jones, and ahead of him is Westy. So I'm sure Westy will be desperately trying to stay on this lead lap, while Lars is just running his race, and it looks like the gap is a little bit more than a pit stop now. So the damage that Westy got is probably going to create a lot of work for him to get back up where he was. Meanwhile, this 14th, 15th, 16th battle, they're kind of bunched up. There is Gilles right in there in the middle of the sandwich. I believe it's Pichler in there somewhere. Yeah, there's Pichler. Pichler currently in 6th. Gets around Gilles. Nicely done. And Caitlin Penny trying to work her way around Vandergeest. Vandergeest is not going to be an easy path, even though he is down. Meanwhile, Pichler gets around Summers. And there goes our leader. I believe that is Ed Jones. Currently in 9th, I believe. No, that was the 11th place car of Antoine. Now, Antoine lapped by the leader. Meanwhile, Westy making his way through. Now up into 9th. But there's quite the gap between 8th and 9th now. So there's some work to be done there. See about a half a sector back. Meanwhile, Hightree, once again, as we found him in each of the last rounds, nicely settled into the mid-pack between 7th and 10th. If he could just keep it clean this race, he could set himself up for a great finish. He's just had some bad luck in the past to where it bumps him out with just a few to go. So he's got to be able to close, keep that thing up there in the top 10. Meanwhile, Bjorn now, second place driver, will be looking to get through the 11th place car of Antoine, as the other Bjorn had just did. And Westy trying to get through just ahead of these guys, Vandergeest. So Westy now all over Vandergeest. Vandergeest must be in hang-on mode. I don't know if he's got damage. He's on the harder of the two tires, so he's probably going in, and he is. That means he's about 25 minutes into this stint. Unless he had a pit stop. He did have that off, so I'm not sure if he had a stop or not. But meanwhile, there is a battle for 5th and 6th now as we got Pichler and Smythe. Pichler sizing him up into that Sector 1 chicane. Fourth place is just about a turn ahead of these guys. So you can see right there in the foreground, that is the 4th place car of Freddie Hell. They make it down the straight. He's looking. Pichler takes a look. Meanwhile, the 2nd place car trying to get through some lap traffic here, stuck behind. As you can see, as they make their way through Sector 1, this is quite the gaggle of cars here. We've got 10th and 11th and 2nd as they brilliantly get out of the way. Man, some nice driving there by these guys to keep it under control. The 10th place car of Ed Jones will be next for Bjorn as he makes his way up there. But meanwhile, Pichler and Smythe is battle for 5th place. Down the straight, let's see if he can close. Anton, all right, in the chat, they're trying to correct me on some of this stuff. I was trying to get the initials up, Woody, but I can't. It just gives me 3 options, and none of them have initials, so I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, Anton, as in Anton Senna, got it. Pretty good battle back here with Costas. Remember, oh, we've got an off there. Another off just out of the pack. Saw the dust gathering there in Sector 1. So 10th and 11th, Westy's in 9th up there. Ran through these guys, but currently Costas in 10th with Jones and Anton closing in. Woo. Got a little froggy there. And Pichler and Smythe are in it. It looks like Pichler's going to the outside. He's got an inside position right now. He just gets out of it. Wow, it's Jacob Smythe defending beautifully there down that back straight. One of the quicker parts of the track. Now to the front straight. Pichler has anything for him. I'm looking. It looks like High Tree's coming in, I believe. Who's that in 6th? No, it's Freddie Hell. So Freddie's pitting. All right. As well as High Tree. So both these guys are pitting. Westy stays out. He's already pitted with the damage. So it almost looks like they're serving a drive-through. I don't even think they stopped, those two. So there might have been something going on there that we don't know about until somebody tells us. Wow, Pichler keeping the pressure on Jacob Smythe. And now Westy up on Freddie Hell. Westy battling back. He's now in 8th, going for 7th. But we've got a battle for the lead. The lead is in the pits. It's a battle of the pits. So the undercut. Bjorn stays out. Oh, they were just close because of the pits. All right. So it can be crazy now. Can't get any crazier than I am. But that's going to move everybody up a slot because the pit stops are starting to happen now with 30 minutes in. So These guys are either going to try and gas it up and go the last 60 minutes. And there is Pichler. Currently now in third, and Bjorn in fourth. Taylor in fifth. Kate with Penny in sixth. And then way back in seventh is Freddie Hell. So currently getting through Gilles. And there's Westy as well. Westy moves up to eighth from the pit stops. So I'm thinking Westy's forced pit stop because of damage is going to make him need one more before this is over. But Anton putting that pressure on Jones. Got a pretty close little race going on here for 10th place. Two of the closest cars on track. We also have the 7th and 8th, Westy and Freddie Hell. Oh, excuse me. So a couple of little battles going on here as we are 1/3 of the way into this race. The good news is we still only have one DNF, so all the starters are in because that was a no start for Randy Marek. So Anton gets around Jones and takes that spot. So Antoine up into 10th as Jones is coming into the pit. So Costas just ahead. There's the distance between 9th and 10th. So Anton's got his work cut out for him now. And then we have Freddie and Nick here back in 7th and 6th. So a little bit of a time to take a breather here, unless you're Bjorn trying to get through traffic. And here is Bjorn coming through Summers. It looks like fighting for position right now is at a little bit of a breath breather. That Jones getting through the 15th place car of Summers. No. That's High Tree. Okay, High Tree. Back in 11th is High Tree. Jones 12th. So there we have that. 7th and 8th, Smythe. And Pichler got around Smythe. They head down the back straight. Freddie. And there's Caitlin just ahead. You can see the gap there. That is the 4th place car of Caitlin Penny. And then just back is Freddie Howell, Nick Westy, Pichler, and Smythe. Meanwhile, Lars just having a Sunday drive out here. We have Costas, a new fastest lap for Costas. So he has just got the fastest lap by only a few 100ths. It's a 1:00.693 is now the fastest lap of the race set by Costas Contadores. So keep that in mind. It's Vandergeest just trying to keep it together here. I believe it's that Bateson with him. Nope, that's the 9th place car of Costas who gets through. Okay, Bjorn now getting through some lap traffic. As he gets around Stefan Winham. Meanwhile, the battle for the 5th place is involving quite a few cars here. These guys are all within striking distance. Of course, Westy's found himself all the way back up to 6th. He's just clawing back tooth and nail. Doing what he does best, going fast. Any battles for position right now. They're pretty much spread out, so good time for these guys to be able to take a little bit of a breather. Kind of regroup. Philip Fischler chasing down Westy. Just ahead of these guys. Freddie Hell holding that 5th position just ahead. He gets through that high-speed chicane. This is the 5th place car of Freddie Hell. Setting himself up down the straight. And you can see Westy right there. And behind Westy is, of course, Philip Fischler. Be hard on the brakes for the chicane. Westy can close. But the gap stays pretty consistent. Freddie's doing a good job. This is the tightest section of the track right here, as it looks like the 10th place car of Anton is coming into her pit stop. As the leader goes around him, Anton pitting. So the Hagmans are 1 and 2 again, and Taylor in 3rd. About a straightaway back is the 3rd place car of Robin Taylor. Yeah, that looks like High Tree in the middle there. There is High Tree. Back into 10th. And Costas, who was once up there near the podium, after that little bit of a spin, has got himself back into the top 10. So meanwhile, the Westy Freddie Hal battle goes on, and it looks like they were pretty tight going into that section. The cars are grouping up again, so it's white knuckle time once again, as you can see on the track map. They are pretty tight. So 7th and 8th are separated by Anton, but 6th and 5th are right on each other here. You see that group just behind. And we got more lap cars. They get around the 11th place at Jones, and now they're coming up into this next group. And it looks like everybody gets through comfortably. Oh, Westy's hard on the brakes. And has a little bit of an issue there. And loses some ground, and all the lap cars get right back in front of him now. So Westy had a little bit of a moment there. So now that opens the door for Fischler, who is right there saying, I'm going to collect it. As they get through some of the lap cars, I believe that was the 17th place car of Stephen Winham they got through. And next, I believe, is Ed Jones. As they get through Jones. So, holy smokes. A little bit of white knuckle action there as they head back into this last turn before that start finish. Meanwhile, just behind them, Anton and Jones are battling here. It looks like Anton's going to the inside. It's going to get a nose on him, and he does have that spot, so Anton jumps on top of Ed Jones, taking that position away, so moving himself up nicely as they go. Fischler now trying to chase Westy down as Freddie can breathe a little bit. As you can see, Freddie's just ahead now. There is the battle behind Freddie of 6th and 7th place as Freddie sits comfortably in 5th right now. 11th and 12th, still duking it out back here. And now Pitchler just ahead of these guys, trying to find a way to put the pressure on Westy. I know Westy's pretty darn quick. You can see he kind of pulls away a little bit on the straight there, but let's see if Pitchler has anything for him in the turns. We are just under 50 minutes remaining. This is the tightest battle on the track as these guys are trying to regain it, get back caught up to Freddie. Meanwhile, third place, Taylor cruising. He's got his next on him will be Gilles, will be next on Taylor's list to get around. Hegman in second place. This will be Bjorn as Lars gets around some traffic. That will be the 14th place car of Jean Vandergeest, I believe. Yeah. So Vandergeest staying in it. John needs a good finish. He is in the top 5 for the standings, so he needs to stay with it. Meanwhile, Pitchler giving Westy a battle here. Got that battle for 6th. And then Freddie pretty cruising in 5th ahead of him. And then Caitlin in 4th, way ahead. We just got around High Tree, I believe. That is the 10th place car of High Tree. Penny just got around. And now Smythe will be looking to get around Anton. Okay, these guys are tightening up here, 5th and 6th. There is Pitchler. Reese Smythe and Hell trying to keep it in the same zip code. You can see back here this battle for 7th and 8th. They're getting through some lap traffic. They've got Antoine just in front of them. Oh, and he goes around. Freddie Hell, or is that Smythe? No, it was Hell. Freddie Hell goes around, gets it wrong in that part of the track. Just out of sector 1, gets it all wrong, so that breaks that fight up. Now that leaves us the 5th and 6th battle still going with Westy and Pitchler, as Lars getting around the 13th place car of Ole Benson. Successfully gets through that on the back straight, as Ollie's having a pretty consistent race. Currently in 13th, hanging in there. Staying out of trouble, having a decent pace. Here is Westy. So Westy's got to be, I would assume he changed tires when he got his wing, so I would assume he's on the softs, the alternate tire, the reds. He should be getting a little bit of wear on those things. As next on the list for them will be High Tree to get through. You can see him right there. This quick 1-minute track, we still have not broken into the 59s yet, with Costas Cantasaurus still with the fastest lap of a 1:00.432, so just under half a second away from that 59. I would imagine we would probably get there at some point in time. Freddie Hell fighting back, now in 8th. Has some clear sailing in front of him. Smythe up ahead there, as you can see, as Lars is getting through. That is the 17th place car of Stefan Wenham. So next for him will be Ben Summers as the leader to get through. And then just behind there is the distance between the two Hegmans as they battle for the podium. And third place, Taylor. Somehow almost a full sector back from the leader as they both cross the sector lines at the same time. One entering 3, one entering 2. So that is your top 3. And here is your closest race on the track. Pitchler hanging with Westy as best he can. We know Westy's got the speed. He's just so hard to get around. And Pitchler just hanging with him, waiting for a mistake. Meanwhile, where is Vandergeest? Here is Vandergeest on his own, currently in 14th with Ollie Bateson. It will be next for him, but he's got a little bit of gap to make up there. You can see it's almost more than a half a lap. So here we go, 43 minutes, just under 44 minutes. Still got that fastest lap held by Costas. So Antoine Hightree down the back straight. Got almost just a full sector lead on Antoine. Costas ahead of them in 9th. And I believe he just got lapped by the second place car of Bjorn Hegman. That's crazy business. Let's see. This mid-race result. Here are your mid-race results. There is your order as we see it now. With Hightree in 10th, Costas, Freddie Hell, Penny, Smythe, Pitchler, Westy, Taylor, Hegman. There are your mid-race results. All right. Jones. Currently in 12th. Seventh place car of Caitlin Penny just got around. There is Caitlin in 7th place. So I'm feeling some pit stops are going to be coming up for some of these guys that haven't stopped yet. I mean, Lars has not stopped that I saw, but doesn't mean he hasn't because I can't see everything. And meanwhile, Pitchler and Westy coming up on some lap traffic. There's a little bit of a pick between them there, and that looks like a Gilles is in between a 4th and 5th place sandwich. He's the meat in that sandwich as he's pulling in to the pits. So De Silva pulling in to the pits, clears the way. As the 7th place car of Caitlin Penny gets around the 17th place car of Stefan Winham. Still, I think we have set a record today. No DNFs since the drop of the flag. We had the one no start by Randy Marek, but since then everybody's still in it now. I'm knocking on wood, which in my case is my bald head, to make sure that we finish this race with just 40 minutes to go. Keep it real. So the pit stops, Mike now in 6th, Westy in 4th, Pitchler in 5th. The gap has grown a little bit as Taylor's getting through some traffic here. Getting next on Taylor's, this will be Summers is just ahead. Just got through Bateson. As Ben lets him go on the straightaway. Nice place to pass. Get that out of the way. And meanwhile, Lars has got some traffic of his own to get through up here. Going through Wenham. And the 14th place car of Vandergeest just back there. So you can see it's very interesting how the grid is all spread out. There's lots of cars that are close to each other, but they're all laps apart. So here we've got 16th. And I believe Gills is just getting... Is that Pitchler? Through? No, who's that in 8th? Freddie Hell? No. Where are we? There is Jacob Smythe, currently in 6th. Pitchler in 5th. Westy in 4th, but Westy has jumped out as into the pits. Who's that in the pits? Just coming out. So Westy up into 3rd as Bjorn made his stop finally. So Bjorn finds himself now back in 5th place after his stop, and he is on the hards. He's ready to go all the way. So the last 37 minutes. Pitchler is on the chopping block. So that was the gap. Oh, we got some dust back there. Is everybody all right? I don't see anybody stopped on the track map, so I think it was just a couple of tires in the grass. These guys are coming down that last section there. So Pitchler now has a mirror full of Hegman. Hagerman trying to close that gap. We know how fast he is as these guys are sitting on pole. So Pitchler's, I think, hasn't pitted yet as well. And Lars has got to be on another lap, but as it looks like who else is coming into the pits, it's Freddie Hell has pitted. So Freddie pitted. Dropping down the order. His 8th place is now going to be taken over by Costas. Freddie drops to 9th after the stops. Westy, 3rd place, right there. And he's coming into the pit. So here comes Westy to pit. So I knew he was going to have one more stop. So he's going to be able to go the rest of the way. As Pitchler stays out. And I believe it's that High Tree right in front of him. Yep, that's High Tree. currently in 10th. All right, let's see if Lars pits this lap. Our leader has not pitted, and he is staying out. So there you have it. It's Westy, splash, dash, ready to rock. He's on the softs. He's out for the rest of this race, I would believe. He's going all the way to the finish with 35 minutes to go. So he's got his work cut out for him in 7th place. After that one crash, took him out of the podium spots where he was challenging as we were following along with Bjorn now. Currently in 4th place with Philip Fischler. Just ahead as they get around Ben Summers. So that's the key right here for Fischler to create a little bit of havoc for Bjorn just behind him. As he's got to get around Summers now, and he does. So Bjorn not held up at all by the excellent driving of Ben Summers. These guys are quite the gaggle of cars there. Smythe, currently in 5th place, keeping it real. Meanwhile, his teammate Freddie Hell back in 9th place. Remember, he had that off. So he's got some clear sailing there, does Freddie. Currently in 9th as he comes around turn 12, head down the straight. And then we got the 15th car of Comp Summers. High Tree just in front of him as they come down the straight. As you can see, Fischler and Bjorn Hagerman right there, just ahead. So there is the gap for Bjorn to the podium. Currently Fischler on the podium with 33 minutes left. So much time. Hard to say what's going to happen next. We've seen a lot of action in this race. It's been relatively clean though. Most of the offs have been self-offs as Taylor now gets through. Excuse me. There goes Robin Taylor, currently in that 2nd place spot. Gets around Stefan Wenham. And here is Freddie Hell in 9th place. Trying to get around Ollie Bateson, and Bateson lets him through. Nicely done. So now Caitlin finds herself in 6th with Smythe and Bjorn and Fischler all within the zip code now. If you can see, might be shaping up for a pretty good finish between 3rd, 4th, and 5th and 6th. 2 groups with the 10th place car of Mark Hightree separating them. See Hightree right there. And behind him is 5th and 6th place battle. Oh, and the 5th, Smythe is off. Smythe has just hit the curb and found it off, and that is going to let Penny through. Penny grabs that 5th place spot with another critical driving error, putting it to the curb. As you remember in the beginning, I told you that section, that first sector where it goes from sector 1 to sector 2, the right, left, is really tough. And it's proven to be a spot where a lot of drivers are having some difficulty. So Fischler's still in 3rd, but Bjorn in 4th, and maintaining that gap. Fischler's doing an excellent job of maintaining that gap. As Mike tries to regain himself after that off. This is that section. It's right, left, and then another right. And this right here is so crucial to get you on the gas early for the straight. There you go. So you got to get on that. It's just off the curbs, up through the gears, into 6th gear. So it looks like Freddie's regained himself. Meanwhile, Bjorn is starting to close that gap as Bateson allows a Pitchler through. So next for Bateson will be Bjorn. We are at the 30-minute mark. 30 minutes to go. The last third of this race is underway. Oh, give him room the inside. And Ollie gives them enough room. No contact, no farm, no foul. Now finally, Lars, the leader, finally pits. So where is that second place car? He's way back. He's just now entering sector 3. So, wow, that was the fastest pit stop I've ever seen. Was that a drive-through? A splash and dash? Did he stop right at the beginning? I didn't see the whole thing. It looked like he just did a drive-through. Are they now fueling on the go? I don't know. I'm sure he did his stop. It should show up on the last lap time. 1:25 was his last lap time. So, yep, 25 seconds off. So that was about enough time for the splash. And he's still on the alternate tire. Okay, so that is second place. The second place car. Getting through the 14th place car of Jean Vandergeest. And now back up to Robin Taylor, who is in 5th, chasing Jacob Smythe for that 5th place position. Penny's still in 4th, comfortably. No battles. Just hitting your marks, hit the apexes. And have a nice finish if she can just keep it together. We should start seeing those lap times come down within about 15 more minutes or so as the fuel drops down and they are on the last part of this race. But we've got about, okay, so the pit stops now again for second. So, Caitlin's in the pits. That's putting Bjorn and the Hagmans are back in 1 and 2. Smythe is up into 4th. Taylor's up into 5th. Pilcher's up into 6th. Oh, Pitchler's in the pits as well. So Pitchler taking care of his pit stop. So are they all going to come out? He's in 7th. And he's going to come out in 7th. Westy just ahead. So Westy made that stop. We know Westy's had 2 stops already. One of the accident. So I think now that the pit stop cycles are about done, we're kind of back to the order that it was before in the first third of the race. Meanwhile, second place. Oh, and who is that that's off? That is the 14th place car, Vandergeest. Vandergeest doing a little lawn mowing back there. And I believe that's Pitchler that's getting through him right now. No, that's not Pitchler. Was that Penny? Yes, it was Caitlin Penny. The pink and purple throw me off. All right, so Penny in 4th. 3rd place is, or in 3rd, I'm sorry. Taylor's in 4th. So this is shaping up for a good battle. As who jumps into 6th is still a Pitchler as Smythe is now in the pits. So Pitchler with the undercut gets back on top of Smythe, and now Costas is battling for 8th with Freddie Hell. So this is a pretty tight battle here. So 8th and 9th on the line. Let's see what Costas has. Costas has that fastest lap. Let's see what he does. It looks like he's going to make a move to the inside. And he does, as Freddie's got nothing for him, and Costas gets the spot. So Costas moves himself up into 8th. Freddie in 9th. Teammate Jacob Smythe of Freddie, MRG Racing, is in 7th. So Smythe up ahead there will be next for Costas if he's got the time to get up there. What else we got? Any other battles? So we got second, Caitlin and Bjorn. Caitlin is going to town here. Chasing one of the Hagmans, Bjorn, who was, I believe, second on the pole. Oh, gets a little bit goofy there. Keep it on the track, Caitlin. Holy smokes. Meanwhile, 4th place, Robin Taylor just back here. You see those guys in the foreground. So 3rd and 4th are separated by half, and then 5th place, Nick Westy, right back here too, trying to get through traffic, and he makes it. Woohoo! How you doing? Humpity bumpity, let me through. So Taylor keeping it alive somehow. And now the leader coming up on the 7th place car of Jacob Smythe. So might be a little bit harder path for Lars this lap, as that car Smythe does have a little bit more speed than some of the other back markers, so it could be tough. Meanwhile, what do we got? Vandergeest is in the pit. Okay, that's going to move Summers into his spot. Meanwhile, back to Lars, 1st place. And then 2nd, 3rd, just behind here is the Caitlin Penny battle. As Bjorn is keeping it real there. That's a pretty tight fight, actually, as they go into the hairpin. Trying to get out of that wall cam situation there. Pretty close. This is the battle for 2nd. It's your 2nd place car, Bjorn Hageman, looking for that camera right there. Caitlin closes right up on that last turn 12 as they head down the start-finish straight. The 4th place car of Robin Taylor is clear of traffic, and next in line, as well as the 5th place car of Nick Westy, all clear of back markers at this point in time. However, the 9th place car of Freddie Hall is coming up. Will be next for this battle of 2nd place. That'll be a while though. There, as he's 9th, there is Freddie Hall letting him through. I don't know if he had another situation there, but all of a sudden they are through. There goes Taylor. And here comes Westy. Wow, they're getting crazy here at the hairpin. Things are getting messy. There is and High Tree sticking it around in 10th. We are coming up on just under 22 minutes. Meanwhile, the battle for the big 2nd place, Penny Hagerman. As Lars in 1st place gets around Smythe, just ahead of these guys. You see, you just know Taylor and Westy just back in that gap. Wait for these two to start fighting to open up that, so they can close that gap. Look at Penny just putting the pressure on. Penny has caught the tail end of Mr. Hagerman. So Bjorn on defense right now. as Vandergeest is in the pits from 14th. Let's see if Penny's got anything down the straight, as Taylor and Westy are slowly but surely catching up to these two. We are at 20 minutes remaining, 20 minutes of racing. We've made it this far with just the one DNF. We've got a great battle here for the final steps on the podium. Either one of these four guys has a chance, with Westy lurking in the back there. You can see Westy back here. There is the gap to Taylor for Westy. All right, they're coming up on the lap traffic. We got Ben Summers in front. Could create another pick. This is where it gets interesting. They're in that technical section, the middle of sector 2, where it gets a little bit technical. So heading down the main back straight. Let's see what happens here. There they go. Down the start finish. You can see Summers there. And in front of Summers is Gilles. So this is going to get testy. Caitlin is right on the wing of Bjorn, as Ben Summers wisely gives them room. The battle goes into sector 2. Man, so with Westy get the raw end of that deal, looks like he kind of got caught up. Oh, but he did get around Ben. So look at it. Look, the lap traffic makes it so interesting because it gives these guys a chance to catch up. See Taylor, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 right there, all in your camera at the same time. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I meant. 1 is way out, already driving off into the sunset, is Lars. So 2, 3, 4, and 5 right there in your picture as they're coming through. Stefan Winham there, the 17th place car who goes around. There is Summers. So now these guys are all within the same zip code. It's Gilles lets him through. Oh no, Gilles contact. Oh no. There's contact with Taylor. Taylor just catches a little bit of the tire off of Gilles de Silva. Gilles, just too many cars and too little of space. That takes it down to a 2-car battle again, with Westy getting knocked out of it. Most unfortunate for Taylor, who seemed to be on the up and up coming into that battle with just under 17 minutes left. Ah, what a gut wrencher. Holy smokes. So that puts Taylor back in 5th. And it doesn't have any damage. We haven't heard from Pitchler for a while. Pitchler now in 6th. Might have a shot at a spot if he can catch up to Taylor. Meanwhile, Westy can smell that podium up there as Penny's holding on to the last step there of the podium. But Westy is on a mission. And you got to give it to Penny for hanging with Bjorn. Saw those blistering pole times. Meanwhile, the fastest lap of the race is still Costas Cantadores. 15 minutes left, so there's still time for Taylor, but he's going to need the speed. As Penny's in the pits, so Penny pits from 2nd. Did not have enough to go, probably needed some tires. Looks like she's up for the tires. And now she's rolling back out, currently in 6th. 7th is coming into the last turn now, the 7th place car of Jacob Smythe. It looks like Penny's going to get out in time. Let's see, Smythe is coming down the straight. Penny's coming out of the pits right there. You can see her. So she does get out just in front of the 9th place car of Freddie Hell. So that is good news for Penny to stay just in front of these cars. So meanwhile, High Tree and Freddie Hill, and High Tree gets around Freddie Hell, as does Smythe, but I think they're a lap difference. So High Tree right there gaining a spot with just under 15 minutes to go. High Tree bumps himself up into 9th. Sorry. But meanwhile, Westy and Bjorn. Westy's got him. Oh, Bjorn has got a mirror full of Westy after having about 6 or 7 laps of Caitlin Penny riding him. Now he's got Westy on his tail as Caitlin had to pit. So this is the battle for second. Taylor is back there, but 4th place. Is Wesley going to go for it? He's looking for the inside. There's no chance at this point in time. Maybe on the next set of straights. They come out of turn 12. Oh, Wesley loses a little bit. That's going to allow Bjorn to get a little bit of advantage on the straight. So Wesley's going to have to regroup for another lap here. As you can see, just behind him, Pitchler and Taylor, with Ben Summers between them. Oh, the 16th place car, Gilles is out now. Gilles has a little bit of an off, but looks like he's going to get himself back on track as the 10th place car of Freddie Hell is getting by where Gilles is now. Gilles cuts across and looks like he's going straight to the pits. So Gilles makes it into the pit. Meanwhile, Westy, Hageman, he's looking on the inside. He's as close as he's been. This is a way better exit on that turn this time, as he's looking for the way around. He's going to the inside. They're side by side. Westy going for second position. Looks like he's got a nose in front, and he is going to take that position away from Bjorn. Westy moves into second place. As Bjorn on the harder tire, we just didn't have enough of bite. But that doesn't mean that Westy's tires are going to last the 12 minutes remaining to allow Bjorn to get back on top of him. But Westy's going to have to make hay while the sun's shining here and open up a gap, because his tires could be going away with a couple of minutes left in this race, as we are at just under 12 minutes right now. So it's looking pretty good for Westy. Jumping all the way back, as we remember, he had that accident. He was all the way down in 10th, 11th, 12th, fought his way back through the pit stops, and now finds himself in second place. But nobody's had anything for this man, the man of the day so far, Lars Hagman. Just had a race. He's led from early on and has not lost a beat. So good for him. As you can see, Westy's opening up a little bit of a gap there now. Check back here with Ed Jones, currently in 12th. Got the 6th place car of Caitlin Penny, who was in that fray but had to pit, still in 6th place, set herself up for a great finish. And Taylor, unfortunately, got taken out of that, Max. Just that. I mean, these things happen in traffic. Not a lot you can do about it. Meanwhile, Contador is still having that fastest lap. With a 1:00.056. There is Taylor. So the gaps are plenty as Lars is getting through some of the lap cars now. Anton keeping himself in 11th place. Was in the mix there for a little bit, but now has a pretty good, decent position here in 11th, running a pretty good race. Freddie Hell, we've seen him have a couple of instances, but maintaining that top 10 position. And High Tree in 9th. Got to hold on, Mark. This is where you've been out of bad luck in the last few races. Under 10 minutes to go. Just got to keep it real. As Westy now getting through. Another lap traffic. I think that's Ollie Bateson, I believe. Yeah, it is Ollie holding on to that 13th position. Nicely done. Vandergeest is still in the pits, which is better than a DNF at this point in time, but let's hopefully he can come back out so we can keep that DNF down to only the missed start. That would be setting a record for this series. Is that 13th and 14th? No, it's 12th and 13th. There is Ed Jones. Put it on Ben Summers. Summers currently in 14th. Meanwhile, Pichler slowly but surely been gaining on Taylor. So as we hit the 8-minute mark, he has closed it down, fighting for that 4th place spot of Taylor. There is Taylor. And here is Pichler just behind him. So currently the race is oh my gosh, Fields is off again. Jill's doing some crop dusting. As we get back to Pichler. Pichler's had a great race. He's been very competitive today. He's really been fighting for positions. And he deserves this spot he's in right now. And anything he can get from here would also be well deserved. And same goes for Taylor, who's had a rough go and holding on to 4th place after getting the rub there. Just bad luck. But then not as much as Westy, who crashed into the wall and lost a wing, as you remember, in the first 30 minutes of this race. Had to pit early and is on his way to 2nd place finish with just 7 minutes left if he can hang on. And there is Contador with the leader coming up on him. Still holding on to that fastest lap. I believe there is a point per fast lap and a point per qualifying lap in this series. It's winding down, folks. Vandergeest coming out of the pit after, I think he went out to lunch. He might have ordered some schnitzel. But he's in Oregon. He probably got some rock crab and some clams for lunch and had to go pick up. His Uber driver pulled it into the parking lot for him. That's what he was doing there. Okay, Bjorn and Taylor. What in the heck is going on now? Taylor just got around Bjorn. And now Pichler's getting around Bjorn. Bjorn's in trouble. Could it be the tires? Could he be saving fuel? Could he trying to be avoiding a stop? He's on that hard tire. And now Pichler and Taylor exchanging positions with Bjorn. It's a disaster for Bjorn at this point, as Taylor finds himself back on the podium after the battles that ensued. So things are winding down as we're coming up on the 5-minute mark. Wow. Second place is way out front, so it's going to take something for Taylor to catch up with that, because it looked like the finishing order is going to go down with 5 minutes left. But who knows? Anything can happen. But Pitchler in fourth now, with Bjorn in fifth. Now Caitlin Penny has got her sights on Bjorn as well. So Caitlin perhaps smelling blood in the water. See the gap there. You got the Ollie Bateson is just between Caitlin Penny and Bjorn. Taylor once out of it, now back into the podium. So you just never know what's going to happen. Man, another change of positions and the chain of events continues to boggle the mind as we just don't know what's going to happen in this last 4 minutes and 15 seconds. There is Westy, second place. Got some lap cars in front of him. Third place Taylor and fourth place Pitchler have some clean sailing in front of them. They're not going to catch anybody. They got second place in front of them. They'll have to get through 16th and 17th maybe if time permits. But with these lap times right around a minute with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left, we are looking at about 3.5, 4 laps maybe to finish this baby off. Round 5 in Portland, Oregon. Holy smokes. This has been something. Who knows what's going to happen next? Anton and Freddie Hell now battling. So Anton has caught up to Hell, and this is the battle for 10th place. So Anton trying to get himself up in that top 10. And where is Hightree in all this? Sitting in 9th place. He's just gotten through what looks like Ben Summers. So he's got protection behind him. But Antoine and Freddie Hell are fighting. As they head down the back straight. Meanwhile, I'm looking at the leader. He's getting through some lap traffic as he gets around the 14th place car of Ben Summers and is closing in on Mark Hightree, I believe. It's in 9th. I see some smoke up there. And there is Westy in 2nd place closing in on these guys. So Hightree in 9th, still hanging in there. 2 minutes to go. 2-minute warning, 2-minute warning. Now Patelin has caught Bjorn for this 5th place battle. As I see more smoke up there. Man, it's going to be a photo finish for these positions as Penny on the softs, battling with Bjorn on the hard tire. Can Bjorn hold her off for another lap? We are going to get one to go here in a minute. The 5th and 6th battle is on. The 3rd and 4th battle is on. There's 5th and 6th, and here's 3rd and 4th. So Philip Pitchler closing in on Taylor, and Caitlin Penny closing in on Bjorn Hedgeman. She is there. It's just a matter of can she get around now. This is going to be 1 lap to go, I believe. Perhaps there'll be one after this because the leader is into sector 2 already, and there are 51 seconds. So we are going to have 1 more lap as Caitlin looks to the inside but thinks better of it. Looks again, gets the spot. There's nothing Hegman can do on those worn hards. I believe that is his issue as Caitlin Penny has moved up into 5th place. Nicely done by her. Meanwhile, just ahead is Pitchler. Has a little bit of work to do to catch Taylor, but it is doable as we are going to have 1 to go here as Hagman has just crossed the line with 1 to go. Getting around Stephen Winham. Yo, who's that? Oh, Freddie Hell has found the grass again. So Freddie Hell once again finds it off. Cars are getting by. Here comes 3rd and 4th place cars getting through that mess just in time. Whereas Hightree still in 9th with Sumner's on his tail. So we got the battles going on here. There is your leader coming down the back straight for the last time. Time has expired. This is the last lap of the race. Pitchler and Taylor going to give it all he's got for this. As Lars Hagman is going to take the checkered here at round 5 in Portland. There is the checkered prop for your winner, Lars Hagman. Coming in second will be Nick Westy. He's just getting through that back section. As he gets through the last turn, second place, Nick Westy, a ferocious, heroic battle back from the losing the win, crashing into the wall, and finishing second place on the podium. Nicely done today by Nick Westy. And here comes Taylor, going to be able to stay in front of Pitchler. Pitchler had a great run today, finishing 4th. There is 3rd and 4th right there as De Silva gets across the line. Caitlin Penny comes in 5th place, and here comes Bjorn Hagman in 6th. Jacob Smythe is going to finish it up as he's just about a half lap back. Hightree in 9th. Smythe coming across the line to finish 10th. Nicely done. Here comes your 12th place car, Ed Jones, once again with a good finish up into 12th position. 8th place today is going to go to Costas, who does get that fastest lap of the race. So there is your 8th place winner, Costas Kantosaurus. Man, what a finish. Great racing today by everybody involved. Man, that was something else. So let's see if I can find this session results for this amazing race. Round 5. Here are your session results. There we have your top 10, concluding Hartree in 9th, Atron in 10th. Very nicely done. Then why isn't it turning the page? Next page. Oh, wrong area. There we go. Turn the page. How you doing? I'm still with you. Freddie Hell in 11th. Ed Jones in 12th. Ollie Betson in 13th. Ben Summers in 14th. Stephen Winham 15th. Gil De Silva in 16th. Vandergeest finishing 17th. And then Randy Marek, who never got started. So that means that we had a 0 DNF race today. That was really good. I can't believe it. Nicely done. Let's not forget our
joined your channel.
Oh, we got someone coming in. It's Jean Vender. It's Jean Vender. All right, John, what happened there, man? You had some troubles. It was a tough round for you.
Well, it was just one of those days where you shouldn't have gotten out of bed.
I hear you, man. Oh, great. Well, we're looking at the schedule now, and we've got Long Beach in 2 weeks, which is going to wrap this up. With Westy finishing in second, he's in pretty good shape here to take this thing. I think he needed to finish quite a few ahead of Costas, though, to seal it today. So we are going to have another round to finish this baby off. So that's good news.
Cool.
Yeah.
One more.
Yep. It was a very exciting race. It's been a great series. And today we set a record. There was no after green DNFs. We only had Randy, who didn't make the start. I don't know if he was talking to you guys on chat, but he did not make the start, and that was the only DNF today. So everybody finished that started.
That's unusual.
That is huge. Yeah, it's a record. Yeah. And as you'll find out when you listen to the broadcast, this track has set many records in the past in reality of having the two closest finishes in IndyCar history, going back
Yeah.
all the way to 85. Really good
And
stuff.
the longest pit stop from me.
Yeah, that was a good one. I thought you were going to DNF and it was going to spoil our record.
No, I just parked it and crawled behind my piano.
Well, did you hear in the commentary? We heard that you had ordered a schnitzel and that you also had clams and some rock crab delivered to your pit stop. That's what we
Yeah,
were. Yeah.
and I was doing my taxes in between.
Well, you could have jumped in the booth with me then, but I'm glad you did, and I'm glad you got to finish. So, man, what a race! That was really something. Uh, Good stuff today, and hopefully we will have it all again in 2 weeks for the final. So let's everybody tune in. I'm going to get out of here. It's been great. We're heading into the outro. So we will see you everybody in 2 weeks for the grand finale at Long Beach. Oh, while you're here, John, I want to ask you, what is the time gap between series number 2, which I believe is going to be a multi-class series, right?
Well, you mean in terms of the starting time?
I'm in terms of the World Series. What is the date
Oh,
for the second?
when it's going to kick off, you mean?
Yes, the second series.
April 6th.
Okay,
Sunday.
that's what we're looking for. April 6th, and that is going to be a multi-class, yes?
Yeah, and your races, P2 and GTE.
Very cool, P2 and GTE. All right. All right, with that said, I'm going to get us out of here, and we are going to look forward to seeing you guys in a couple of weeks.
I just want to add one more thing.
Go for it.
And that is that you are a kick-ass broadcaster.
Well, I don't know about that.
We're very happy to have you.
All right. Thank you, John, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.